last few moments to get a final guest in on extraordinary news yesterday that the godfather of AI, artificial intelligence, this British-Canadian pioneer Geoffrey Hinton, 75 years old, basically dropped his job at Google, quit sensationally, saying he regrets his life's work and warned that the AI that he'd helped create was at risk of being a danger to human beings. Well, let's talk about this with Will Guyatt. He's a tech journalist. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
I have to say, I mean, absolutely fascinating, the man behind a lot of this. Look, there have been lots of people involved in this process to get to AI. We've got chatgpt, we've got a load of these deep fake videos, we've got very high tech. I mean, I go for a walk with my husband, he's got his Apple Watch on, it seems to be listening to me. Next time I Google something, an ad will come up with something we had a conversation about. A lot of us are getting increasingly freaked out, but this is the idea that actually we're going to be creating robots and AI that is so intelligent, it's able to think for itself, and will eventually be the downfall of the human race. How worried should we be?
Yeah, I think we should actually be fairly worried.
Oh, good Lord.
When we've got somebody so senior saying this is a risk. The biggest challenge here is what happens with this without regulation. It's developing so quickly at such a pace, and all of these tech companies are throwing billions of dollars at it, but none of them are communicating and telling us what they do. We just hear occasional glimpses of what's coming technology-wise. Yeah. They show us examples like chatgpt, which are developing at a massive pace. The reality is, within 10 years, over 300 million of us globally will lose our jobs because this technology is coming in. And Julia, you and I, a tech journalist and a radio presenter, both at risk of losing our jobs.
Well, we heard that for years about every technology that comes in, the Luddites didn't want, looms and things to come in because they'd lose jobs. The reality is that new jobs created. I'm fully aware that my daughter in a lifetime will do a job that no one's ever heard of. Doesn't exist right now. There will always be new jobs created in that sense. But there is this real concern that you say without regulation, that even with regulation, this technology is just, it is just expanding exponentially. Dodgy players, the authoritarian nations like China are developing it as well. Whatever regulation we might have in Europe or America, frankly, ain't going to matter much if they are developing this stuff and using it for ill. And I think a lot of us have lost faith and lost any trust, if we had it in the first place, in big tech companies, that they are on our side. They're on the side of their shareholders and their bank balances, not us. And a lot of people are really worried that it's going to affect our freedoms, our rights, and not just our jobs.
Well, let's look. There are some positives to this technology. Just in the last couple of weeks, Oxford universities, in association with the NHS, have now developed a piece of technology that can better match organs for donation than humans have been able to do in the entire time that they've been doing it. And that's based on human experience linked with this technology. So there are good things in there, but there is also the concern that without this regulation or without this control, and like you said, what happens in countries like North Korea and Iran and China that may want to get one up on the West, what's going to happen in those countries. So it's kind of one of these things where you can't put the genie back in the bottle now. Yeah. But I'm excited as to what could happen with this technology. But the fact you've got one of the sort of founding fathers, there's been lots of people involved in the creation of AI saying that there are these risks. I think we should all take notice to this and realise it's coming.
Absolutely should. Will Guyatt, tech journalist, thank you very much. Indeed, I have a horrible feeling at one point that we're going to lose the tech connection there because you're talking to a tech journalist, therefore it will always break, but we made it through. Thank you very much to him. 9:55 is the time. Well, artificial intelligence certainly. Well, Mike Graham is here.
Listen, there's nothing artificial about me.
There isn't,
I can assure you.
Do you know what? He's even worse off.
I've got lots to say about what happened yesterday. I mean, London has been shut down to an extent that is absolutely unbelievable. But